Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Today's show brought to you in part, by the way, our friends over there at Outskirts Press and superinterns.com. I'm going to spend some time talking to Joe Beneducci, and he is with a company called ProSite. It's an interesting insurance company. And one of the things that makes it interesting is that if you ask him why he got in it, he says it's because I hate the industry, that's kind of ironic, you know. I remember the guy who loved the racer company so much that he bought it, you know. And I can't remember who was that guy. My producer
Victor Kayam. It was Remington Razor.
Yeah, he loved it so much. Yeah. He bought it. But you're like the opposite. You stay in it because you hate it, because I assume you want to make it better. Is that right, Joe? And welcome to the program.
That's absolutely right. And maybe hate might be a little strong word, but look, the importance, you know, of the difference that we have as an organization. Let's face it. I mean, who actually likes insurance? You don't wake up in the morning and actually look forward to actually buying your insurance. And our organization actually was created and founded based on the fact that there has to be a better way to do this, and it's not necessarily just by clicking on a website. There's a lot of value that your insurance program should bring to you and bring you peace of mind and security, and the industry has to be more responsive to do it. So it's exactly right. It's the reason why I am in this industry and why I think there's a great future.
Yeah, very interesting. Talk about what makes you different from other insurance companies out there, because there certainly isn't a lack of such companies.
Yeah, well, the best starting point would just be to look at how technology has changed our lives already and how it changes our lives even every day. Look at how we buy music, books, how you take a cab these days, groceries, etc. Technology keeps changing and evolving in how we behave and what our biases are towards what we buy. With that change, why is the insurance process going to be any different? I think the one commonality is technology is helping us simplify what it is that we prefer to do and what we don't prefer to do. And maybe a simple point would be, if there's something in your life right now that you don't like to do, it's a pretty safe bet that somewhere right now there is someone trying to create some form of technology solution to help remove that pain. Well, with that being the case, the insurance industry needs that sort of wake-up call. The insurance industry has to be able to provide more value to customers. And let's face it, if as a premise you don't like insurance, think of how few people actually really understand it in the first place. And that's the sort of change that we're going to continue to see in our lives. We're not going to be willing to buy things and pay whatever that price is unless we understand what value we're receiving in return. And it's a little concept we've coined the Great Divide, because I don't think any industry is immune from it. You're either given technology changes, you're going to be either interested in buying something through a low-cost provider if you don't deem there to be value. So on the other side of this equation, of this Great Divide, are the high-value providers. And that really is what ProSite is all about. We focus on delivering tailored solutions to select customers in a way that the insurance industry really never has. And we do that a couple of different ways. Do that either through unique products that we create specifically for our clients, unique services, or even third-party solutions that can bring better value to the end client, so they know when they purchase something from ProSite, they're getting something worthwhile.
Yeah, very good, very good. And talk a little bit about the type of things you insure.
So we're also interesting in that regard too, because most insurance companies will just have a standard appetite where they'll say, well, we'll insure these folks and we won't insure those folks. We are a specialty insurer in the commercial side of the business, and we really look at customer segments by way of what can we bring to that segment to deliver expertise and value to them. So there really isn't a pocket of customers that we won't insure, but based on how we operate today, and we've gone from zero premium about 5 years ago when we first started the company to around $1 billion now by the end of this year. And we range everywhere from the construction industry to the energy industry, the entertainment industry, professional services, real estate. We have a big participation in the transportation sector for our transportation customers. So it runs a very wide gamut in terms of who we can insure, but we do this through very select distributors that really adhere to the same sort of standard that we require that they be very specialized and be able to deliver value to the end client.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what are the factors that determine whether or not you insure? I mean, I'm sure there's typical underwriting involved, but what are some other unique things that make them logical for you to insure versus others that are not?
That's a great question, and
I'm blank because I was kind of confused by it.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm blank because I was a little confused by it. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, it starts with the point that I made just a moment ago, that we try to identify, is there pain involved today? Is there a pressure point? Is there something that the customer isn't receiving today that we can apply our expertise and specialized approach to help relieve that pain, make this process better for them, have them come out through the buying process realizing that, hey, I actually just got something that I know is valuable, and I'm confident I'm going to receive it. So when we assess that in every industry niche, in every customer segment, it can be slightly different. Some customers may have an issue not feeling as though they're getting the value out of their actual product. Some customers may feel, that this process itself is very confusing. I'm not quite sure, based on the service I'm receiving, if this is the best thing I could get. So we try to identify that first with a customer segment. The one point I would make, though, is we are typically focused on segments of customers, and so we can bring more value to a larger group by building those capabilities for that sort of segment. So all of those industries that I mentioned are those types of segments. And if a customer has exposures or they're based in such industries, there's a real good chance we can provide them that unique value.
So are there certain parts of the country that you operate in? Are you pretty much across the nation? Kind of give us that scope, if you will.
We're actually a global company. We can provide capabilities throughout the 50 states. We are not only licensed, admitted, and non-admitted, which basically means, in simple language, we can cover our customers' needs anywhere in the United States as well as internationally. We actually have what's referred to as a Lloyd's syndicate at Lloyd's of London. It provides us capability to write in more than 200 countries around the world. So the simple point is, if you have an exposure here and you're a growing business that have needs beyond the 50 states, we can still help you with that, and we can still provide you the coverage extended the same way we do it in the United States.
Okay, that's interesting. And size range of the businesses you work with in terms of either revenue or employees?
Again, it really runs the gamut. We have certain programs where, depending upon the customers in our professional services segment, for example, the policy sizes are very small, can have, as an example, in the law firm space, or selling insurance to law firms or accountants, could be as simple as 3 or 4 employees in the firm, and premium $1,000, $1,500, very small policies, up to multi-million-dollar contracts for much more sizable clients who have much more comprehensive needs with self-insured retentions and large deductibles. So it really has a lot to do more with who is the customer, what are their specific needs, and can we provide them that value in that particular segment that they'll see value from.
All right, we got about 30 minutes left. Any final thoughts before I let you go?
Well, no. I appreciate having the opportunity to speak with you about our business. We're awfully proud of what we've done so far, but most importantly, what really gets us excited is in this very mature industry that's existed for decades and decades, and it was built for a different time to provide as much access to the marketplace as possible. And obviously, as we know, the economy doesn't work without insurance. Problem is, this industry really needs a dramatic change. And there aren't many organizations well-positioned or even focused on doing that. Mm-hmm. ProSite Specialty is. That's what we do. That's how we founded the company. That's what we exist for. And I think, by demonstrating the past 5 years' worth of growth that we've seen, customers are speaking very loudly about how well this business strategy functions. And we take that very seriously. Our customers' needs come first, and I think we've demonstrated that. So we're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing, and the business model is pretty simple. Make sure that your customers are happy and they see value, and they'll come back.
Joe Beneducci, ProSiteSpecialty.com. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at USDailyReview.com. And this is The Price of Business.